Hello techies, and welcome back to the first video in the new year and in a month and a bit. I am so sorry that I didn't manage to get a video out. I had one ready and it just, YouTube hated it for some reason, so it never got uploaded. Alright, so we're coming back to a brand new series. We're going to be doing a Darkest Dungeon campaign on the Blood Moon difficulty. But first things first, let's watch the intro cinematic, shall we?
Ruin has come to our family. You remember our venerable house? Opulent and imperial, gazing proudly from its stoic perch above the moor. I lived all my years in that ancient, rumor-shadowed manor, fattened by decadence and luxury. And yet I began to tire of conventional extravagance. Singular, unsettling tales suggested the mansion itself was a gateway to some fabulous and unnameable power. With relic and ritual, I've bent every effort towards the excavation and recovery of those long-buried secrets, exhausting what remained of our family fortune on swarthy workmen and sturdy shovels. At last, in the salt-soaked crags beneath the lowest foundations, we unearthed that damnable portal of antediluvian evil. Our every step unsettled the ancient earth. But we were in a realm of death and madness. In the end, I alone fled laughing and wailing through those blackened arcades of antiquity, until consciousness failed me. You remember our venerable house, opulent and imperial. It is a festering abomination. I beg you, return home, claim your birthright, and deliver our family from the ravenous, clutching shadows of the darkest dungeon.
Alright, and with that, we can get started. Let me just readjust the audio because I had turned it up for you guys. Hopefully that's at a good level there. Maybe a little lower. Alright, there we go. So, as I said, we will be playing on Blood Moon difficulty, which is essentially the Stygian difficulty, but with the Crimson Court DLC enabled. Now, this isn't necessarily my first campaign, but I've never finished a full run because, my god, is this game hard. And I'm pretty sure I didn't just name my estate Darkest Estate. Alright then. So what I'm thinking for these is, because the dungeons do get pretty long, we'll do the early dungeons, probably one per video, and then for later dungeons where there's like 2 or 3 rest points, and especially the darkest dungeon. The darkest dungeon I might do all at the same time, but some of the longer dungeons later in the game. Sorry, I'm talking over the cinematic. I shouldn't do that.
So steel yourself, and remember there can be no bravery without madness.
I know my voice isn't as nice as Wayne June's.
Take you to hell, but in that gaping abyss, we will find our redemption.
Alright. So as I was saying, yeah, for this game, I'm thinking that I'll probably only do one dungeon per video, because I don't want to be making 80-minute videos. I know the retention rate on those isn't super high. So I'm going to try to keep it under an hour I make no promises because sometimes these dungeons become a whole thing, like if I encounter a shambler. Um, I know this game has been pretty extensively covered. If you guys want coverage of Darkest Dungeon 2 as well, I'm happy to do that. I figured this kind of fits the theming more of the channel. I tried Slay the Spire on the channel. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep playing that because roguelites were never really what I was intending. With the stagecoach destroyed and the caretaker gone, you will have to make the journey to the hamlet on foot. Okay. The old road. Um, Come on, computer. Ah, there we go. Just took a minute to load. Yeah, I know how to do that. Okay. Yeah, so like I said, I will...
Brigands have run up these lanes. Keep to the side path.
You'll probably get a
Hamlet
longer
is
video
just ahead.
with this one because of the tutorial and doing all of like these
Dispatch
basic
this
things.
thug in brutal fashion, that all may hear of your arrival.
Combat is turn-based. On your hero's turn, click a skill icon, then click the highlighted target. If you can't select a particular skill, it's because the hero needs to stand in a different spot, or there are no valid targets. Yeah, so, what was I saying? Right. If you guys want to see Darkest Dungeon 2, we can do that. I was trying to stay more to like strategy games. That's why I played Bad North and Thronefall. So if you guys would rather see games like Civ 5, Age of Empires, um, pretty much any of those,
Slowly, gently.
we can do that.
This is how a life is taken.
But I mean, if you guys have suggestions for games that you really do want to see, feel free to let me know. I would love to hear. Let's have Dismas talk to the... I knew exactly what that did, but
Self-preservation is
any
paramount
self-respecting
at any
Darkest
cost.
Dungeon player will always do that because why not? Um,
An ambush. Send these vermin a message.
it's not the
The
smartest
rightful
thing to
owner
do,
has
but
returned, and their kind is no longer welcome.
that's tracking shot. No, let's open vein on the bloodletter. And then, can he be stunned? It's not a super high chance. It's a 50-50. Coin flip. Hey, I won the coin flip. Dismas being selfish actually isn't even all that bad. He could have been a lot worse. Alright, so we've been shot. -4 dodge. So now this guy has a extra 50% stun resist, so we can't stun him again with that. So we'll just hit him hard. Eh. That bleed isn't that bad. So let's do open vein again. Gave him another bleed. There we go. So he would die to the bleed, but we don't want to leave him alive for that many turns. So instead, we'll just hit him one more time, and now he's gone.
Her death by
And now we just need to get rid of this Fusilier. Fusilier. Basically, a man holding a gun. That's what that translates to.
as the fiend falls.
It has its origins in a French word.
Blossoms.
So Yeah, there we go. Um, After you've completed a quest, just click the crest to go back. We're gonna hit continue adventuring because we want to open this trap chest. Yeah, we're just gonna open it. Oh well. Sometimes you can still get a good outcome. If we had had a skeleton key, we would have been able to disarm the trap. I think the shovel maybe did something there, but I'd rather keep the shovel. Hippocratic? Oh, Reynold's a healer. He took an oath to do no harm. Meanwhile, he's, slashing at dudes with swords. Uh, I don't know. That seems pretty Hippocratic. Or maybe hypocritic.
Welcome home, such as it
Alright,
is.
so,
This squalid hamlet, these corrupted lands, they are yours now, and you are bound to them.
thank you, Wayne June. So, because we're playing on Blood Moon, we have exactly 100 weeks to get through the Darkest Dungeon. Which... Yes, I know, thank you. So, I'm not actually going to go into a dungeon here.
And morbidity.
Feel free to pause and read if
Your
you want
work
to.
begins.
So, the Darkest Dungeon. We aren't actually going in here right now. We're far too weak. We only have 2 party members. But there are, I think it's 3 to 5 missions that we need to do in the Darkest Dungeon. Now, there's also the courtyard over here, which that's part of the Blood Moon DLC. There's the farmstead down here, which is part of the Strange Colors DLC or something like that. I don't know. It's what gives us these shards, which also gives like a bunch of new trinkets and stuff. But for now, we're going to be heading into the... It actually is called the Darkest Estate. It's funny. We're going to be heading into a scout mission in the ruins. But first things first, we aren't going with just these 2. In fact, it'd be better if I could have 3 other people, but
outlaws, fools and corpses,
we get a Plague Bearer and
will find their way
a
to us
Vestal.
now that the road is clear.
Each of these classes, by the way, has their own like unique unique playstyle. So like the Vestal can be a warrior Vestal, it can be a healer. I'm really regretting talking with that dead person, but it'll be fine.
Trinkets and charms gathered from all the forgotten corners of the earth.
Oh wow. Okay. Oh yeah, this is where you can spend shards at the jeweler, which is in the Nomad wagon. But yeah, so it gives these crystalline trinkets, which all have like specific requirements, like plus 10 accuracy of bandage in inventory, plus 30% bleed chance versus husks. Like they come with unique side effects, and it's actually kind of cool seeing how they work. This is the graveyard.
Up here, covered in the poisoned earth, awaiting merciful oblivion.
So, because we are playing on the Blood Moon difficulty, we can only have 16 people in total die in our estate. Only 16.
In time,
If you lose 16 or more, you lose. Like, game over. Bye-bye. Delete the save. Yes, so there's a lot of, like, little ancestor memoirs here that we don't have yet. And yes, there are 3 assaults on the Darkest Dungeon. Conclude the final stage of your campaign. So we will be doing our best to do that, and we're going to try to go for 100%, but I make no promises that we're going to be able to destroy all of the bosses and still complete the Darkest Dungeon in 100 weeks. I'm good at games, but this game especially is one that I have always struggled with because It is so unforgiving. And we've looked at everything that we can. We don't have access to any of the stress relief facilities, so off to the ruins we go. Let's put, I know there's one called the standard flip as well, but, oh, that's an interesting one that I've never seen. Oh, and red hook. All right, well, so these names are just names that the developers put in because of, like, because they saw how many players did like these combinations, so they decided that it's a good idea to put those in as names to kind of give new players an inkling and to make players feel like they're discovering something when they put stuff in a certain order. Alright, so I am going to leave you in the front because you don't have point blank or duelist advance. What about you? Where's your preferred slot? You like being in the third. Okay, so yeah, because you can use incision from there. Alright, perfect. And then you won't be able to use Hand of Light. I'm okay with that. Alright. Let's provision.
The cost of preparedness, measured now in gold.
You'll want to take different
Later,
supplies depending on what
in
region,
blood.
how long the quest is, but always bring food and torches. At least 8 food and 4 torches. Now, given that this is a scout mission, I'm going to bring more than 4 torches. I'll bring 16. And I'll bring 1 full stack of food. Now, because this is the ruins, 1 skeleton key, couple holy waters, bandages, yes, and 2 shovels. Alright, 1 more skeleton key. Spent a little over half of our funds. Hopefully we come back with more than that. Alright, there we go. Far less time to load this one. Okay, gonna turn the game audio up just a tad. There we go. I don't necessarily want you guys to be hearing everything. Or not, that's not what I meant. I don't want you guys to be overwhelmed with like the noise, and I want you to be able to hear my voice. But I do still want you to hear the game audio. That being said, try to avoid walking backwards in this game as often as you can. It's not really important if you do it in a room, but if you're doing it in a hallway, it can cause stress and even injuries to your party members. So don't do that. Look, a torch. So you won't necessarily see me use my cursor to do that because I do have the hotkeys on my computer. So I will just like press T to light a torch, and I won't always announce it. Let's do Grape Shot Blast, and you missed. Dismiss, you suck. Let's do Dazzling Light.
A decisive pummeling.
There we go. Disorienting Blast. There we go. And now, instead of having to use Stunning Blow, I can just use Smite, which does extra damage. And you missed. You'll notice things like that happen a lot in this game. You'll miss 90% accurate strikes. This one has an accuracy base of 75, and it missed both. So, let's try it again. Oh, this is going so well. Okay. What is this? Oh, plus 25% to healing skills. Yeah. That doesn't do damage. Judgment does. Alright. I think I'm gonna have Reynald do a Zealous Accusation.
Their formation is broken.
There we go.
Maintain
corpses.
defensive.
Yes, I can explain corpses. So, corpses are essentially just obstacles that will exist after a enemy has been defeated. If they don't go down to a damage over time effect, they will leave a corpse behind. An unlocked strongbox. We get another shovel and a crest, and 8 crests. Now, crests and relics are extremely useful for upgrading the hamlet, so we will be prioritizing those for now. These little symbols, they actually have meaning. So like this is an obstacle, so you can see this big wall of stone. You need a shovel to go by it. That's why I brought a shovel with us, but we also got one because this is technically the tutorial dungeon. These crossed swords, they mean battle.
Even the cold stone seems bent on preventing passage.
Hallway battles are sometimes scary because you'll get harder battles than you'll find in rooms, or sometimes you'll just get wandering bosses. So, yeah, not always great. Let's use Disorienting Blast on the cultist. There we go. Dismas, stop stressing.
Executed with impunity.
You know what? If you're gonna get crits, you can stress out, what's your name? Mobini, as much as you want. Just get the crits. Alright. We'll smite the Bone Soldier. And we'll use Incision on the Cultist Acolyte, because we're trying to get bleed on that. You can't bleed a skeleton. Well, actually, there are certain ones you can, for really weird reasons. You can actually bleed the skeletons sometimes, if you're lucky.
As the fiend falls, a faint hope
But
blossoms.
it's not something that you should try reliably. Oh. Yeah, this is why the dungeons can sometimes take a long time, because you'll just keep missing, or they'll keep dodging.
Surges as the enemy crumbles.
Basically, if the game likes you,
Trifling
you're good. If the
victory,
game hates you,
but a
well,
victory nonetheless.
you gotta play better. I will usually keep, I'll usually keep the game on the map just so that I can see like where stuff is going. It does automatically switch back to the inventory when you interact with stuff like this backpack, which he has Kleptomaniac, so he just stole the skeleton key and the gem that was in there, which would have been worth some money. Oh well. Ooh, this is a fun combo. Alright, so let's start by trying to get some bleeds off on this guy because he is the scariest. How much health do you have left? 3 health? Really?
Press this
Oh, well.
Give them no
Dismas just
quarter.
decided he wanted him gone, so. So the reason that you'll see me focus on people like the Cultist Acolyte is because they can rearrange your party, and they also have stress attack moves. So they will attack the stress bar instead of the health bar, which you might think would be better because you have up to 100 before they have a breakdown, and up to 200 before they have a heart attack. It's not better. It really sucks when they attack the stress health bar, because it is so much harder to get rid of stress than it is to heal health.
Compassion is a rarity in the fevered pitch of battle.
Oh. And that's what I mean by, like, they'll rearrange sometimes. Basically just pulled the Plague Doctor up to a location where she can barely do anything. Oh yeah, if they die with damage over time effects, the damage over time effects carry on to their corpse, because corpses do have health. If you get rid of the corpse, it disappears and the people can move forward again.
Success so clearly in
Alright,
view.
so we just got a
Or
trinket,
is it merely a
but this
trick
trinket can
of the
only be
light?
used by the antiquarian. We don't have an antiquarian in our party. Default party order. That's a very nice quality of life button that they added later. We will use the skeleton key here, because I do know that interaction.
Glittering gold.
Oh, and we got our
trinkets
skeleton
and
key back.
baubles,
And we got a ruby.
paid
Nice.
for in blood.
Alright. So now we will... We'll head back down this way. Which, yes, we're gonna get another hallway battle. But... I'd rather go for the, I'd rather go for the curio here and the room battle with a curio than go through 2 traps to get there, because the curio can have better stuff than the traps. Now, let's take out this Bone Courtier as fast as we can. So, the cultists, not so much, but all of the bone enemies will fit the theme of, like, the ruin we're in. So, this was once a noble in the house, basically. The soldiers were like guards and soldiers. And actually, you'll see that with the later enemies, for sure, because they actually, like, say Bone Noble. Ooh, that was a nice hit, Reynold. Divine Grace for Dismas. Okay, well, he got a second one off. I was trying to avoid that. So, yeah, as that tooltip just said, if they get up to 200 stress, they have a heart attack, and they die. That's just how the game works. It is super unforgiving.
Inspiration.
Crits like that are super helpful, but not always going to happen, so don't rely on them. It used to be that the lower your light went, the higher chance of a critical, but the lower chance of getting a hit. I think that's been changed. But yeah, crit heals will heal stress on the receiver as well, so that's always really nice. Alright, Jade,
Remind
more
yourself
busts,
that
more
overconfidence
crests.
is a slow and insidious killer.
And you lose less light going over hallways that you've already explored. And
If only treasure could staunch the flow of
he takes the portrait,
otherworldly
which
corruption.
portraits are another thing like the busts or the crests that you need to collect to upgrade the hamlet. Ah, perfect. We'll have Dismas interact with this and use holy water on it. It will reduce the stress he has. But yeah, see, you can... If you can stack enough bleed resist debuffs onto a skeleton, you can make the skeleton bleed. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but you can. Disorienting Blast on the Arbalest. Mostly because these guys hurt if you leave them in the back. Yeah, you're still on healing. Zealous. And you missed. So I did want... Oh, look at that. We actually got a second stun. That's not very common. Now that I have the basics of like the game explained, let me jump into why I've been gone for so long and what's been going on. So first off, Happy New Year, everybody. I know I wasn't around on New Year's Day to say it, so I'll say it now. Happy New Year. Hope you're all having a great time. I was in the middle of a super busy move when I started my my YouTube channel, and then I got a job which I had for 4 days. Story for another day. Got a job for 4 days, so I wasn't able to keep uploading at the pace I was. I didn't have a backlog built up. Then the videos I did have weren't working to be uploaded. Like I tried 7 or 8 different times. They would not upload. And after that, I just kind of only showed up very intermittently to Ruga and Olden streams, which I posted about them in a community post a little while back. But yeah, so I would show up intermittently there, but it wasn't by any means common. Alright, so Trap Disarm, Dismas has 75. Dismas has the best chance. And he got trapped because he's an idiot.
Cruel machinations spring to life with a singular purpose.
Alright. Let's keep walking towards this empty room. Oh. Make sure that torchlight stays up, because otherwise you can just get randomly ambushed. So yeah, I was gone for quite a while. I didn't really get a chance to do much, if anything, with YouTube. And it was just kind of an all-over-the-place mess. And yeah, it was not super fun. I was struggling with my mental health as well, so I wasn't doing as much as I should have. I'm still looking for jobs, this time in a different, very small city up in Canada, so it's not super easy to find jobs. Use the shovel, use the torch.
The promise of safety.
Feed you 4 food, that way you're not like on death's door as soon as we get in here, because we are going to be doing this final fight. Alright, we'll start with a blinding gas. I should hopefully stun both of them. Yep, there we go. Grape shot. Nice, nice. Heal Reynold, because the soldiers up front are going to do lots of damage. Oh, nice dodge. Nice dodge. But, yeah, so I'm finally getting back into the swing of things. I'm taking the time to record, and I'm going to do it in hopefully a better manner for my health, so I'm not just grinding everything out. And, but I need something to, like, get up and do every day, you know? And this feels like a decent thing that I can do. So I figure I get up every day, I record a video, and I get it out that night or the next day. And it shouldn't ever really be an issue. Okay. I guess that works. Judgment. At this point, we're just trying to do 4 damage. 8 damage works. Alright, there we go. So now we get...
creatures can be felled. They can be beaten.
We got some gems and we got a torch. So what I did there is I just activated the torch instead of waiting around. We'll get rid of the 1 anti-venom that we got for free. Alright, there we go. So these rubies alone will give us the cost of the run, but we also get the quest rewards. And there's a bonus for each thing that you bring back that is unused. But yeah, see, so we got 7,600 for that, and we only spent 3,500, I think, because I think we were at 5,600. Alright, so the only good thing about this is we got Irrepressible, which... Oh. Ascetic actually isn't all that bad. It just means don't put Dismas with Occultist as the only healer. Fear of Beasts, don't take her into the Wield. Plutomania... Reynold, you suck.
The degeneracy of the hamlet is nothing, I fear, when compared to the condition of surrounding acres.
So, yeah, those negative quirks that we were just looking at, they can get locked in, and they'll have this little skull symbol. And basically, they cost more to get rid of. Oh, he was only stealing that stuff because he was selfish. I thought he actually had Kleptomaniac as well. Reynold will only pray for stress relief. Dismas doesn't have anything in that, but he's not allowed to gamble. But Dismas is actually pretty good. Hagiomania, and Egomania. She's obsessed with self-worship and with sainthood, so she's going to try to become a saint so she can worship herself. Night Owl will probably never really use unless we run out of torches. In Town will only gamble. And minus 15% damage on the first round. That's fine. We just use Divine Grace instead. But plus 10% death blow resist. That's good. Alright, so yeah, the Tavern is unlocked. The Abbey is unlocked. We have 22 busts, 11 portraits, 10 deeds, and 44 crests. So the first thing I like to upgrade, especially on a stage file like this, is the Stagecoach Network and the Hero Barracks.
Word is traveling.
Because I want to get
in distant cities.
all of the types of
We
heroes.
Can use this. Fresh kegs,
yeah,
cards,
Tavern, Abbey,
and curtained rooms
best
promise
activity.
solace to the weary and broken alike.
Oh, and sometimes the caretaker will just be in one of these stress relief places. Like right now he's in the brothel. Dismas, you're going to go
the pews
into
set straight. The abbey
that.
calls to the faithful.
We'll increase the stress recovery and we'll reduce the treatment cost.
A man in a robe, claiming communion with the divine. Madness.
There we go. Now hopefully Dismas, in the next episode, after we're done the next dungeon, hopefully Dismas will be done with his stress relief. Or yeah, sometimes they can lock themselves in for longer. Yeah, so I'm not going to take a second Highwayman, not just yet, because our limit is, well,
in time,
because
you
we
will
are
know
limited.
The tragic extent of my failings.
Nomad Wagon. Let's actually increase the wagon size.
Idol, amulet, or lucky charm.
And then,
the simplest object can be a talisman against
lastly,
evil.
let's upgrade the gambling hall if we can.
All manner of diversion and dalliance
Because
await those who cross the threshold with
in the
coin
gambling
in
hall,
hand.
you can actually like gain stuff if you're if you put people in the gambling hall. So if Dismas wasn't a known cheat, I probably would have put him in the gambling hall. Sometimes you can lose more money, but sometimes you gain stuff like trinkets, or they win a big hand and they give the money back to you. Stuff like that. Yeah, I think that's good. Alright, so that was Darkest Dungeon. Thank you for watching, everybody. If you made it this far, please consider liking, subscribing, and hitting all of the buttons down below the video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all later, techies. Bye!